Hello, it's me, Jedekiah, and we're back for another Meathead Minute. I'm gonna keep this one a little bit shorter than last week. Sorry, this is a long 10 Meathead minutes, but this will go a little bit quicker. It's pretty dense though. There's like textbooks written on this. But I asked questions about motivation, if you struggle with it at times. And so what I want to talk a little bit about today is kind of the process by which people make changes in different aspects of their lives. So I'm gonna talk about a psych behavior model that is used a lot in like substance abuse treatment, but it's also used for healthy lifestyle changes as well. Two different types of motivation. You have intrinsic and extrinsic, or internal, external. Extrinsic motivators are going to be money, approval of peers, anything that's coming outside of you that's motivating you towards whatever it is that you're working towards. Intrinsic motivation is a little bit trickier. I don't know how to increase it on a personal level for someone else, and if I did, I'd be recording this on a yacht, not in my 25-degree garage. So that's where we're at. But the point that I want to get across today is that when that motivation fails, which it will, there are things that we can do through habit and routine that will get us over that hump till maybe we find another burst of motivation or meet our goals or continue to progress. So the trans-theoretical model, it's a behavior change model. I drew a really nice picture here on this whiteboard for you. It's made up of, 6 stages, 5 stages, and kind of a 6th stage. You have your pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. Pre-contemplation is like Joe Schmo who doesn't give a crap and is not ready to make a change, not even worried about making a change, just living their life, whatever, no big deal. Contemplation is the point in the change process where you're thinking about it, like, I need to lose some weight, I'd like to get in a little bit better shape, increase my heart health, whatever it is. Preparation is probably a lot of times, especially with fitness related stuff, the least utilized step of this process, probably the most important, but we're going to come back to that. So preparation is where you make your plan. How are you going to go about achieving the change? What are your steps going to look like? What are your habits and routines going to look like? Okay. Then you have the action part where you do. So the action or the do is the New Year's resolutioners who go hit the gym on January 1st and bust it. They're doing. There's action right there, right? After that, the period after do is maintenance, and maintenance is anywhere. It can last for a little bit or it can last indefinitely. Ideally, we want to make, when we're talking about health and fitness changes, we want to make a change that gets that maintenance point and then stays there. We want to continue to be healthy. Most people hit the 6th part of this model, which is relapse. And don't think relapse as a dirty word. It's very normal. Everybody, I don't want to say everybody, almost everybody will relapse at some point in some aspect of change that they're doing, okay? When we say that, a lot of times we think about, drug relapse or whatever, and that's part of this too, obviously, but someday I'd really like to pull the negative stigma away from that relapse, especially as it relates to health and fitness, because a lot of the people that I've worked with over the years or people that I see, they make this, maybe they don't do enough planning and preparation, and they make this action, they start this action and they go, and then they probably don't ever really hit maintenance, and then they relapse back to another stage, probably contemplation or preparation, where they're still desiring the change, but kind of got burned out or upset or whatever. So the biggest thing that we can do to retain motivation through the action and preparation stages, or to work around a drop of motivation, is going to be to implement some rock solid habits and routines. Routines are going to be a bunch of habits put together during that preparation and action stage. So when you're looking at this actual trans-theoretical model, the way that it's written, they break those stages into 6-month chunks. except for the action or the preparation stage is a little bit shorter sometimes, but my point with this here is that if we can figure out a way to make some super legitimate habits and routines in the preparation stage, you're going to do yourself a big favor for action and maintenance, which means you'll continue to implement those healthy changes that you make. So some of the notes that I wrote down, you guys want to see my handwriting? This is really high-tech stuff here, okay? So the biggest things you can do in the preparation stage is obviously be prepared, preparation, right? And then know your plan. So on a personal level, I've had really good success with this trans-theoretical model, behavior change process with drugs and alcohol. If you know my backstory, as a teenager, I was pretty wild. But I've been clean for almost 9 years, 8.5, going on 9 years, right? No relapse anywhere through there. And I think the biggest reason initially that I stayed that way was because in that preparation stage, I would run through these scripts in my head. What am I going to do if somebody tries to give me a beer? What am I going to do if somebody wants me to go do this or go do that? And I rehearsed it basically alone. I was kind of like a recluse for several months, but it worked really well. And when I've had success with really adhering to fitness stuff, which in my own personal experience, it's a lot easier for me to say no at this point to drugs and alcohol than it is to say no to, Oreos or the 10 taquitos that I ate during the Super Bowl yesterday. Anyway, so that's a little relapse. To get around that part with the diet or whatever it is that you're looking at, you need to have a plan in place for what you're going to do when those things happen. So if you're making a healthy change, you're starting your preparation stage, there's going to be social events that you're going to go to, and there's going to be cake, and there's going to be treats and stuff. And I'm of the personal belief that you don't need to eliminate that stuff, but you need to be wise about it, right? So budget some of your food intake that day. Maybe you have a lighter breakfast and lunch, knowing that you're going to have treats that evening or whatever. But you need to have these plans in place way before you get to the party, or you get to the event, or you run out of the food in your fridge, right? There's so much preparation that goes into this. But happy news, if you can develop habits and routines during that preparation stage and the action stage and just really stick to them, it's going to make that maintenance stage a lot easier to stick with long term. So that's kind of what I had today. Not quite as long as the last one. Sorry, next week's and the week after will legitimately be a Meathead Minute. Nice and quick. Keep it real. As always, please reply to me if you have questions about this stuff or input. I had a cool conversation with a physical therapist the other day about something I put on my story, and it was nice. I like talking about this stuff. But that's it. Habits, routines, Meathead Minute. I'm out.